This January, I'm watching it happen again. People are setting money goals right now. Same energy, same optimism, same this year will be different. But I've tracked this pattern across 847 people, and I can tell you exactly what happens next. In 34 days, 91% will quit. Not because they're lazy, not because life got hard, but because they all made the same psychological mistake in the first 72 hours, and it guaranteed failure. And if you set a money goal this year, you probably made it too. Here's what I found. The people who succeeded didn't have more discipline. They had one thing the others didn't: environmental friction. They made bad decisions harder than good ones, not by 50%, not by 20%, by exactly 17 seconds. That's it. 17 seconds of delay between impulse and action, and it changed everything. Here's why that matters, and why your brain is designed to ignore it. For the last 6 years, I've studied behavioral psychology in business and money, not theory, real patterns. I've tracked thousands of people's financial decisions, watched where they break, and reverse engineered what actually works. And what I found contradicts almost everything you've been told about discipline and willpower. Because the real reason New Year money goals fail, it's not what happens in February. It's what you do or don't do in the first 3 days of January. Think about the last time you set a money goal. You felt it, right? That surge of possibility. This time I'll save. This time I'll invest. This time I'll build something. And it felt real because in that moment, your brain flooded you with dopamine. Not because you achieved anything, but because you imagined achieving it. And here's the trap. Your brain can't tell the difference between planning to change and actually changing, so it rewards you the same way. This is why most people feel amazing on January 1st and exhausted by January 15th. They got the emotional payoff up front, so when the work starts, the brain asks, why am I doing this? I already feel good. And that's when motivation dies. Not because you're weak, because your brain already got what it wanted, the feeling of progress without the cost. Neuroscientists call this goal replacement. You replace the hard goal with the easy feeling of setting the goal. Let me show you what this looks like. Meet Alex. January 2nd, opens a high-yield savings account. Feels incredible. January 9th, transfers $200. Feels productive. January 14th, buys a $90 jacket on sale. Justifies it because he's been good. January 23rd, orders takeout 3 times. Just this week, February 1st, the savings account has $75. Alex didn't fail because he lacked discipline. He failed because his environment had zero resistance. Every bad decision was one tap away. Here's what most people don't understand. Your brain doesn't care about your goals. It cares about one thing: conserving energy. And change requires energy. So when you say, I'm going to save $500 a month, your brain hears, I'm going to fight my existing habits, resist emotional triggers, and override autopilot. Every single day. That's expensive. So your brain waits for you to get tired, stressed, or distracted. And then it pulls you back to what's familiar. But there's something deeper happening, something most people never notice. Your financial habits aren't random. They're solving emotional problems. Overspending solves stress. Impulse buying solves boredom. Avoiding your bank account solves anxiety. These aren't mistakes. They're solutions. And until you replace the emotional function, the habit will defend itself. This is why willpower always loses. Watch what happens in February. January's excitement fades. Life adds pressure. Bills come. Unexpected expenses hit. And your brain runs a test. Who am I when things get hard? Not who you want to be, who you've trained yourself to be. And if you haven't built systems that work under stress, you default to your old identity. The person who isn't good with money will figure it out later, doesn't really need to save. Identity always wins. So here's the shift that actually works. Stop trying to build discipline. Start building rash decision architecture. Make it so your money system functions even when you're tired, distracted, emotional, unmotivated. Not because you're superhuman, because you're realistic about being human. Let me show you exactly how. First, add friction to bad decisions, not massive barriers, tiny ones. Example, delete shopping apps from your phone. Not forever. Just make yourself re-download them every time you want to buy something. That's 17 seconds of friction. Enough time for your prefrontal cortex to wake up and ask, do I actually want this, or am I just bored? That delay stops 60% of impulse purchases, not because you have more discipline, because you interrupted autopilot. Second, automate the behavior you want. Don't try to save. Set up an automatic transfer the day after your paycheck hits. $50, $100. Whatever you won't miss immediately, make it invisible. Your brain can't fight what it doesn't see. And here's the key. The amount doesn't matter at first. Consistency does. You're not building wealth in month one. You're building identity. I'm someone who saves automatically. Third, replace the emotional function. If overspending solves stress, you need a new stress solution, not another financial behavior, an entirely different outlet. Walk, journal, call someone, lift weights, anything that discharges the emotion without spending money. This isn't soft psychology. This is survival, because your brain will always choose the fastest emotional solution. If spending is the only tool you have, spending will win. Here's what separates people who build wealth from people who stay stuck. Wealthy people don't have better intentions. They have better defaults. Their environment is designed so the right choice is the easy choice, and the wrong choice requires effort. That's it. They're not more disciplined. They're more structured, and structure beats motivation every single time. If you set a money goal this January and you're already feeling it slip, this is why. Not because you're broken, because you tried to out-discipline a poorly designed life. And that's impossible. You don't need more motivation. You need less decision-making. You need systems that assume you'll have weak moments and still function. That's not pessimism. That's engineering. So if your New Year money goals failed before, don't feel ashamed. Feel informed. Nothing was wrong with you. You just tried to build wealth with emotion instead of architecture, and the pattern exposed it. The good news? You don't need to wait until next January. You can rebuild the system today, not with motivation, with 17 seconds of friction, one automated transfer, and one new emotional outlet. That's all it takes. Not to be perfect, to be different. Look, if this changed how you see money goals, here's what to watch next. The 3 psychological traps that keep people broke even when they're making good money.